So, gentlemen, let me get this straight. Here are in front of me two of the greatest secret agents of all time, 007.1, 007.3, and neither one of you could retrieve an ensemble? Well, my dear, you're not exactly making it terribly easy. I mean, your entire postal service has never been so misnamed in my life. The man's name is DeJoy? There is no joy in any of this. I agree, sweetheart. You just don't have a man like me, or even a pansy like him. There's no need for name-calling. You just don't have us run around delivering clothing. We're a little more valuable than that, you know. Yes, Sean, we know. We know this very well. We know this because you charged $1 million a word for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A man has to have value. Well, you certainly do have a great deal of value, Sean. No one's a... What's this? What's this? Is this the Poppy Parker Ensemble? How on earth did it get here? And look, it's the accessory set. I don't understand. I thought the two of you told me you couldn't get these. Well, quite frankly, I'm as stunned as you are, ma'am. I simply don't know how this happened. Well, maybe that guy, what was his name? DeJoy? Maybe he finally got some. Finally found some joy in his life. Or maybe, just maybe, gentlemen, you finally found someone who could get the job done. Oh, for Christ's sake, Pierce! Oh, hello, Pierce. We weren't expecting you. Actually, I think that's the whole point, is we should have been expecting you. Well, I certainly was. 007.5. I guess they wrote the song for you. Nobody does it better. Oh, please, sweetheart, you've had it for him since you were 10. Well, that's not quite accurate, Sean. She did also like me as Bond. Yeah, but this one could basically shit kitty litter and she'd still like him. Gentlemen, what's with this language? There's no need for it. The girl's allowed to play favorites. Everybody else does. Yeah, let me just go ask MGM. Really, Sean? Did you have to go there? Hey, everybody, it's Barbara. And as you can tell from my somewhat elaborate opening pre-titles, not quite as long as No Time to Die, but I digress. As you can see from my rather elaborate opening, today is no ordinary review. This is a birthday review for this wonderful gentleman, who today, May 16th, 2022, turns the ripe old age of 69. And let's not make the American jokes about it. This is a lovely action figure that I've actually had tuned up a little bit. It started out its life as the Mi6 Agent Paul figure, but since there was never an actor named Paul who played 007 or an Mi6 agent, you have to know that they're talking about the man himself, Pierce Brosnan. Before we get to this great sculpt of his, and I talk a bit about the work that I had done with it, let me just very quickly show you the box, which unfortunately does have a little bit of wear and tear to it. I've had it for a while, and as I will talk about in a few minutes, it's crossed a couple of continents. The box itself is quite nice. It does have the embossed, I think I'm going to move it over here so you can see, put it into the light a little bit. As you can see, it has the embossed, rather accurate Mi6 logo. It says Mi6 there. They have to be kind of careful, though, because they can't say very much about it. And there really isn't too much else to the box itself. It's just about the figure. And we will get to that presently. I would like to show, as you can see, he's got a head on him, which is the touched up head. And which was meant to make him look a little bit closer to Die Another Day. The sculpt that he has on his face right now was done by David, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. David I'm going to blow it. David Ayerling of Pabs Customs and Repaints. Let me show you first the original sculpt, and then we can talk about how it's just this, what is currently on the body is just that much better. This is the original sculpt. And it is not bad at all. It's just, you can tell that it's Pierce, but it's not, well, it's supposed to be Pierce Brosnan, but it's not quite him. There's just a little bit in the jaw that needs some work done. However, what I do love about these figures is that they tend to have a great deal of sparkle in this eyes, and this is no exception. And there's gorgeous detailing, which I hope you can see. It's kind of hard to do this, hold up the light and show you, but there's gorgeous detailing in his eyebrows, and you can literally see the strands of his eyebrows. And there's also the crow's feet around his eyes, which are appropriate to the Die Another Day era. This is definitely like World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day. This is not the slightly emaciated Pierce. His mouth is purposeful, and you can also see that there's some lines around his eyes as well. I'm sorry, lines around his mouth as well. You can see that there's also appropriate age lines around his lips, and there's this great detailing of the 5 o'clock shadow on both cheeks. His hair, just the slightest hint of graying at the temples, which is appropriate to the character. The eyes, though, the eyes are very hard to do because it doesn't really strike you until you see him in person. But he really does have the most striking shade of blue eyes. And anything that is an improvement over Sideshow insisting on giving him brown eyes is so much the better. So let's come in closer so we can talk about what David and his team adjusted. You can still tell here that there are the beautiful strands of his eyebrows. The eyes are a little more defined and wiser. The lips are still very purposeful. There's still that 5 o'clock shadowing. The main difference is the jawline. And I will put the heads together so you can see this. The jawline that David did is sharper, which is correct. The jawline should have been sharper. And they've added a bit more of that sun-kissed tan because 007 is always tanned. They've narrowed out his face a bit, but the age lines continue to be appropriate. I'm going to raise his hand up so you can see, and turn it so you can see. Perhaps I should do it this way. The hands are quite, the hands are quite good as well. They show that David touched up the hands. He gave them some age spots, which again, appropriate, but you can still see the veins. And the wear and tear. And just to see the inside, you can see that it's a little, you can see that there's wear there too. There's definition at all points of the fingers. Not necessarily to show callousing, but just to show the usual wear and tear. And don't forget, in Die Another Day, Bond was just coming back from being tortured. So it's very appropriate for his hands to, you know, have a little bit of scarring on them. So these are very well done. The Agent Paul figure does come with 2 sets of hands, and I just showed you the right hand. The left flat hand is the same, and Paul did me a solid repainting the hands for me to match the repaint of the face. Leave Pierce there like that while I go ahead and I show you the detailing of the two other hands. As I said, there are only two sets, I should say. As you can see, or you will see in a moment, there are veins. And on the inside you have the wear and tear. This is perhaps the most important set of fingers for any 007. It's the trigger hand. This would be the right hand. And again, the wear lines on the inside, very well done. This figure does not come with much, though I will go over the suit in a moment. It does come with the Walther with the silencer attached. And the clip is not removable. So this is a one-piece silencer. The tux is very nice. Obviously, it's the traditional tux with the pleated front shirt, the cummerbund, not the cummerbund. The collar of the jacket is that nice satin. This is a jacket that closes properly, which I'm not going to attempt to do, but it would close with a button. The jacket is fully lined with formal suiting lighting on the inside. There is no gentleman's pocket. I mean, the fact that, you know, don't get used to what the Dr. No figure was. No other figure is going to go that crazy and do that much detailing. His trousers are going to close with Velcro. I doubt he's wearing underwear. And he's about as well endowed as Sean was, and we'll leave it there. The pockets do work. You can put something in there, obviously not the gun. This did not come with a holster. So you can't, but it is cut that if you have one, which I guess the expectation is that you would, you can put it on. The back pockets they kind of open, but I wouldn't try to put anything back there. Actually, I'm going to go with they don't open. The trousers are not lined, but the shoes are real, and I just realized one of them is untied. Sorry, guys. I'll fix that later. But if you notice, he is wearing proper socks. And since the shoelaces are untied, this means that the shoes can come off and that the feet, this is not a pagan pair of shoes. The shoes can come off. I tried to retie the shoes. They just won't stay tied. I'm sorry, guys. But the good news is the shoes are very nice. Let's just focus on the left one. The left one is really nice. I mean, the left one is a good, typical display of it. It's very nice. It's a nice looking dress shoe. So, for a relatively decent, not 200-pound figure, this is a very nice likeness of Pierce as James Bond from the Die Another Day era. This is also still very much available. It is very possible to find the Mi6 Agent Paul out there on eBay and other dealers, so I would definitely go ahead and get him, because as I said, the original head sculpt is not bad at all. This is a whole recasting that they were nice enough to put on the head for me, they being Pabs Customs. But Pabs Customs did a really good job, and I think they did and just that little bit of extra detailing that they did in terms of the repaint and the narrowing of the jawline really brought it closer to being Pierce. And that is definitely a good thing, especially if you're a fan of his. I don't think that the Mi6 agent would be a good idea to get your hands on if you're looking for a Dr. Fate. We know that Dr. Fate from the Black Adam series is going to have a beard. Colonel Sanders would not be a bad likeness. So we know that's going to happen. So it's probably a better idea just to wait and see what kind of Dr. Fate figures come out before you try to get him. And before we go, as I said at the beginning of this review, this is going up on May 16th, which is Pierce's birthday. He's going to be 69 years old. And on behalf of all of us, like he's going to hear this, but on behalf of all of us who have been watching him since he was 29 years old and on Remington Steel, happy birthday. We wish you a rest of your life that is as peaceful as possible. God knows you had enough drama in the first 69 years of your life. May the rest of your life be as peaceful and as calm and as fortunate career-wise and as successful career-wise as you want it to be. I'm going to post a link in the description below to UNICEF, which is a charity he's been supporting lately, particularly because of Ukraine, but usually because of the connection between the James Bond actors and UNICEF. I'm also going to put a link to the Prince's Trust out of the UK, and he is an ambassador for that as well. He's also an environmentalist and a cancer awareness activist because of the tragedy of losing his wife and his adopted daughter to cancer. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of links in the description below if you'd like to donate to charities. So for me, Barbara, representing all of us of a certain age, I will see you in my next review, which will be the Poppy Parker ensembles that Pierce was so very nice to deliver to me. Haha. And I wish you, sir, a very happy birthday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.